Well, it's time for another update video. I'm coming to you from San Antonio, Texas, where I have been speaking for the third time in a row at CareNet's National Conference. And I'm so excited to share some really cool things that have been going on with you. I'll start with the recent trip to Portland. I was actually going to try to shoot this video in Portland and just the schedule didn't end up working out, but we had a really good time speaking for Oregon Right to Life again for their youth launch event. This is just kind of this event where they bring some really kind of star pro-life youth and spend several days working with them. And so I got to have about a day to go through a bunch of pro-life apologetics and practical dialogue tips with them. And it went really, really well. I'm going to post a link in the description to a video that Oregon Right to Life put out that's got testimonials from the students that they filmed at the end of the event. And a lot of them are referencing things that they learned from me as kind of some of their favorite things. And so if you'd like to see that, I definitely encourage you to check that out. And that can be an encouragement to you. Another cool thing going on, I just booked myself to be speaking in January in DC for the Archdiocese of Washington, DC's huge youth rally. I don't know the actual name of the event yet, but it looks like it's going to be huge. They have the Capital One Arena. So like they're like, we've got 6 screens and we've got the ribbon if you've got any like hashtags you want to put on. If they fill this thing up, that's 20,000 students that I'll be speaking to in January, which would be the biggest audience I've spoken to by 10 times. And so that's really exciting. We're really looking forward to it. I know I'm speaking at other places and there's other things that are going to be going on that week too, but it's been really great to connect with the Archdiocese of DC that are just really excited about the kinds of things that we are sharing here at ERI. I did their last event virtually. I pre-filmed a talk or 3 kind of mini talks for them. And that apparently was kind of the common highlight for a lot of the youth who were doing the surveys after. And so they said back then they wanted me to speak, and I'm just so glad I'm going to be doing that. The biggest news lately is that we have launched a new program. It's been something that's been kind of in the works since the beginning of this year or so, and it's an affiliate group program. I'm going to drop, just in case you haven't seen it, we've made a 90-second trailer that kind of basically explains it, and I think it came out really well. So I'm just going to drop that here in the video, and then I'll flesh it out a little bit.
Transformation. What happened to my pro-life group is nothing short of total transformation. Vandalism ended. People became pro-life. My club size exploded, and professors respected us, all because I discovered Equal Rights Institute. It's a story we've heard time and time again. Local pro-life leaders reaching out to us because their advocacy has been so drastically affected by the unique apologetics materials we have to offer. They keep asking us for more mentorship, more tools, more support, more ideas. Well, more has arrived. Introducing the Equal Rights Institute Affiliate Group Program.
Learn from our team of expert pro-life advocates how your pro-life group can make an impact for life in your community. You'll receive one-on-one personalized mentoring from one of ERI's club coaches to help your pro-life group reach its full potential, free lifetime access for an unlimited number of group members to the Equip for Life course and Sidewalk Counseling Masterclass, preferential access and discounts to ERI speakers for events, and private access to our library of ERI digital kits with tips and how-to guides for running an active and effective pro-life group.
College clubs, church groups, youth groups, high schools, Right to Life clubs, sidewalk counselors, religious and non-religious, all are welcome. Together, we can change minds and save lives. Apply to join the ERI Affiliate Group Program today.
So the first thing that I want to make really clear about this program, because I know a few people have asked and we've tried to be just as clear as we can from the beginning, is that we are not trying to compete with other pro-life groups with this. We actually worked really hard as a team before kind of finalizing our plans to make it as non-competitive as possible, because there are other groups that work with, clubs or groups or chapters or whatever. And I'm just not interested in competing with the pro-life movement. I feel like we are on the same team with the pro-life movement. I think we have some really special things to offer. And so we want to do that. We want to stop, denying people, who are asking us for help, the help that they're asking us for. But at the same time, we're not out to compete with the pro-life movement. And so we've made it so that like if groups want to work with us and get advice from us, get coaching from us, they can do that and be an affiliate with us. But that doesn't mean that they can't work with other groups. If they want to work with CareNet or Students for Life or Justice for All or Sidewalk Advocates or like any of these other groups out there, totally fine. You can kind of work with basically any group that you want to. But if you want the advice and the coaching that we're offering, then becoming an affiliate with us and adding that on to what you're doing would be the way to do that. And I know that happens a lot. In fact, I'm here at the CareNet conference. I was talking with one of my friends here who was just saying, there are a lot of pregnancy centers, for example, that have affiliates to multiple groups. They might be affiliated with CareNet and Heartbeat International, which are kind of the two biggest umbrella groups that help pregnancy centers, or they might even have a triple affiliation. They might be working with NIFLA too. Like, just sometimes that lends extra credibility, or maybe they can try to get the help that all of those groups have to offer and then bring them in and decide exactly what they're going to want to do with it. Like, that's a thing that can happen. And so I see us as only trying to help groups. And if they want to work with other groups too, I think that's great. Like, they can work with whoever they think is going to be helpful to them at any level. The only reason that we decided to add this to the things that we're offering to groups is because of the experiences that we had and our former and current staff had at two places, University of Michigan and St. Olaf College. So University of Michigan, Rachel Crawford, who used to be on our team, she ran that club, and she did a really, really amazing job leading that club before she came on staff at ERI. She took a club of 5 to 50 in like a year, which is just not something that really happens with pro-life college clubs, especially on campuses as liberal as University of Michigan. And she had some very specific strategies that were unique to her that she used for that, and she shared with us at ERI, and then also shared with Emily Albrecht, who is now on her team, when she was leading the club at St. Olaf. Now, we talked a lot about the successes of the club at St. Olaf. This is kind of like our hero club. If you haven't heard me tell that story, I will drop some links in the description to some videos of me interviewing Emily about that. It's an amazing story. Totally, like you've got to hear about this club. It's amazing what has happened there. But suffice to say, there were some very specific things that Emily was doing there. Not only things she learned from Rachel, although definitely she did learn some things from Rachel for that, but also some things that just Emily and Meredith and Joshua and the other people that were running that club came up with that were just really, really useful and kind of unique. And so for us, it's like, what if we could help make that happen all over the country? Whether it's with high school clubs or college clubs or even like adult groups. Like, we want to be working with Sunday school classes and right to life groups. So just like any groups that are looking to get together and do pro-life things, we might have good advice to help them. And so with a lot of times with a group, it's helpful for them to have some kind of a mentor. And so Emily and now this is now a team of volunteers that Emily is running that is coaching these clubs, where it's like, we're going to set goals and we're going to work together on meeting those goals. And we're going to really try to see if we can make those successes that we saw at St. Olaf and University of Michigan happen all over the country. And we are so excited. It's something that our staff has talked about behind the scenes for years, about, pretty much ever since University of Michigan. It's like, boy, is there some way that we could try to spread the secret sauce that Rachel was using? But we basically just thought that we were going to need a lot more staff to be able to pull it off. And then when we hired Emily, she came up with a really great plan for how she could actually do this basically right now, or be ready to launch, within, 3 months or something like that. And so we ran it by our board, and our board was just really enthusiastic about this program. The donors that I've talked to about it have been really excited about it. And so while it's something that I wouldn't have thought we would be able to do in the next 5, maybe even 10 years, that's just a really exciting kind of turn of events that has happened. And basically Emily changed my mind about multiple, basically things that I was thinking about when I was predicting, when could we ever do this? And she was able to show me I had some, just wrong premises, some false premises in my head. And she convinced me that this was something that we could do, and we could do now, that we could do really, really well. So again, really hoping to serve the pro-life movement in this new way. And I am really, really optimistic about what we're going to be able to do. So if you're interested in signing up to be an affiliate group, there's going to be a link in the description. But again, some really cool rewards, freebies, gifts for our affiliates. And but especially it's the coaching, above everything else, is being able to work with Emily, work with our other volunteers that Emily has trained to be able to set goals and meet them, and to see a lot more success out of these pro-life groups than sometimes happens. There's another project going on behind the scenes that I'm not ready to tell you about. That's going to be coming later. I've teased it, for one or two. It's kind of another one of those projects that has been in the works for probably, at least 3 or 4 months. But I don't have it close enough to the finish line to be ready to publish. I think we're just going to kind of launch it once it's ready to go, and then maybe I'll fill you in on kind of the behind the scenes story. I think kind of the main other thing going on is this conference that I'm at right now. So this is my 3rd time speaking at CareNet. Today was the first day of the conference, actually. And so I got to work with Pastor Greg Austin and some other people at CareNet on their kind of half a day pre-conference workshop on equipping the church. And it went really, really well. It was one of those things where I didn't know exactly what I was going to be speaking on until this morning. I had breakfast with Greg. We had been meaning to get together and kind of plan this thing out, as thoroughly as we had the first time. But then I had trips and then he had trips, and we basically couldn't connect until this morning. And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do with my hour? We basically came up with a plan together, and I ran back to the hotel room and worked on some transitions and organizing some things, and then it went so well. So I talked about relational apologetics, and I talked about the pastor pledge. Greg actually asked me to play the 10-minute video that we made recently about the pastor pledge. I will link to that in the description because it came out really, really well. If you haven't seen that video, that is one of the videos I've made this year that I am the most proud of. And when I say I made it, like there is a team effort thing going on here. Andrew made a script out of the article that I wrote, 3 or 4 years ago, and edited it and added a few new things, and then I filmed it and edited it. It's all of this is a team effort, right? But I'm really proud of how it came out, and we're proud of the way that music is happening in it. And anyway, so I played that. Everyone was super excited. So you had an audience of, let's say, roughly 40, maybe 45 pregnancy center directors or other people that work primarily in pregnancy centers that are looking to connect with the church better. And the pastor pledge, the idea of trying to help pastors to get a vision for how they can make their churches safe places for unwed pregnant women, is a kind of a key part of that, and in a way that we are partnering with CareNet to promote that. And there are just some times when you're a speaker when you feel like it's going really well, and today was one of those days. I felt like I could take my time, even though it was kind of like I never got a chance to rehearse it and didn't really know what I was going to be doing, until basically a couple hours before. It really went well. And the audience was so receptive, so interested and intrigued by this idea, and it was just very, very positive. So today was a really positive day to be here. Tomorrow morning, I'm speaking on faulty pro-life arguments and tactics. In fact, I know someone from today has changed her session so that she can see that one, because he seems just very like-minded in the way that he thinks about dialogue and where we want the pro-life movement to be going. A lot of today was about what kind of a culture do we want to be as the pro-life movement. And so I'll be doing faulty pro-life arguments tomorrow, and then in a couple of days, I'll also be doing an extended version of my relational apologetics talk. Today I only did kind of a third of my normal relational apologetics talk, which if you would like to hear, I can link in the description. I'm gonna have so many links to put in the description, but that's okay. But we recorded this talk, actually, I got really nice filming of this talk at my church a couple of years ago. When I gave it sort of as a sermon, basically, or a guest sermon. It's pretty much that talk, and it's pretty similar to what I do for pregnancy center banquets and stuff like that too. And so, it's a passion of mine. It's something that I really care about. I really want to help the pro-life movement kind of catch this vision for being more relational in the way that we talk to people, and the way that we attempt to change minds and save lives. And CareNet is definitely very like-minded in that, which is why I'm doing this talk. And so we added that this talk kind of got added late, someone's, some other speaker canceled or something like that. And so they asked if I would do another talk, and I said I'd be happy to, and kind of gave them some options, and they picked this. So I'll be listening in on some sessions too. I'll be having some meetings with some great pro-lifers over here, and it's always a good time. It's always a long trip, but it's always really beneficial. So that's something that's going on. So that kind of does it as far as like trips and events. Behind the scenes, the team has been working so hard on the affiliate group launch and kind of getting that going. So that's a lot of what the team has been working on, as well as, getting out articles. I was out of town for almost a month between work trips and family trips. I was gone for like 3 weeks, and I was back in the office for just 1 week when I needed to make the trailer for the affiliate groups, and then head to CareNet and be gone for another week. And so it's just been kind of a whirlwind. It's kind of thrown everything off, and I'm so proud of our team. I was really bragging on them with our board. Because I've been out of town, I've been less able to be like assisting them and kind of keeping all these things moving, and they just really ran with it. I'm just so proud of them. I would be getting work done even on my family vacations and trying to approve articles and things like that, but they've been making clips from some of the older videos and just kind of uploading clips. So if you don't release videos at least once a week, then the YouTube algorithm completely punishes you. So we don't want to do that, but at the same time, I can't be editing videos while I'm out of town. I have one machine that is powerful enough to edit video, and it's at home, And so the team just was really independent and kind of had this plan and all the different little tasks and things that needed to get done to launch the affiliate groups on time and get videos and articles out. And I'm so proud of them. This team is literally working better together as like a unit than we ever have in like the history of ERI. It's really, really exceptional. I'm so proud of Andrew and Emily and Jacob and Jen, and just how effective they've been at the office while I am all over the country, basically. And so I know that behind the scenes, I'm a bit overwhelmed, because I know getting back, I'm gonna have, not only this video that I'm filming now, but I've got like 3 Apologist Reacts videos that have not been edited. I've got 3 podcasts, I think, that I've already filmed that are not edited. There's just so much to do, and a lot of administrative stuff that has been falling through the cracks. And in fundraising, frankly, I've been doing very little fundraising lately, and that's having a negative effect on us. I need to figure out a way to get that happening more for us to accomplish our goals. And so, 1, expect to see us slow down our publishing schedule. I've kind of officially told our team what we've been doing for the last year at least, which has been basically 2 videos a month, 2 podcasts a month, which are also videos, and 2 articles a month. That's not sustainable anymore. I can keep that up if I'm just editing. If I'm just editing all week or whatever, I can totally keep up that schedule. But the problem is, then I'm not doing basically any fundraising. I am not doing, and I have administrative things that I'm getting to, but then some things are falling through the cracks, and emails that are falling through the cracks. It's kind of just barely hanging on. And it's been doable for a while, but it's also had some negative effects. And we're just been putting out so much stuff. So we're gonna be slowing down a little bit, just kind of for the sake of helping ERI as a whole be healthier. I don't know exactly what the final sustainable schedule will be. I think what we're going to try is doing, like a video and a podcast and an article, kind of like this 3-week loop, which would be like the most incremental way to slow down the schedule. My hunch is that's not going to be enough of a difference. And so it might be that we end up only doing maybe 1 podcast a month, but we try to keep up 2 videos. I don't know exactly. We'll see. But that's kind of one of the ongoing kind of tricky things at ERI. We're still understaffed. There's still so much that we want to do and say. And there's, there's multiple projects that are like long-term projects that are in the works also behind the scenes that are of course taking up time, that are going to be amazing. You're going to be so excited about all of them. I know that. But there's just also a lot that has not been happening that it's I can't not happen forever. We can't be a nonprofit and grow if basically 0 fundraising is happening for a really long time. And so One, if you see our publishing schedule slow down, that's why. It's probably been coming for a while, but I've kind of officially made the decision that we need to slow down. We need to change our expectations and change your expectations for what we can manage as long as we are on a team this size. And two, if you appreciate our work and you're not giving, please give, because that would be the difference maker. Like if I could hire an editor that I could train to do all the video editing stuff that I do, the audio processing, the color correction, the edit, like all of that stuff, that basically I do almost all of that. We contract with a company that does the first editing pass on our podcast. So we pay them, and that helps save me some time, but not a ton of time. But besides that, it all has to happen in-house. We just don't have the funding to completely contract all of that out. It would be really expensive. Ultimately, at some point, we just need to have someone on the team that I can just train to be like as good, if not better than I am at all of that, and then release that. And I've had people ask, like, would you want to let go of the editing? And I'll say I enjoy video editing and audio editing. Like, it's not like I jump into, Adobe Premiere Pro and like mad about it or something. Like, I actually enjoy it. I'm getting better at it, and I like it. And especially like now that I'm adding music more often, like there's a whole music, kind of creative music editing thing. Like, that's really hard to edit music well, but because I'm coming from a musical background, like I kind of have this unfair advantage of being able to kind of work out how to arrange clips of, you start off with this one track and you got to figure out parts that you can loop. And I'll literally sometimes get out my guitar and just like work out what the chords are so I can figure out how to place things together, because you want certain musical parts to happen to emphasize certain parts of a video. So it's like a puzzle, basically. It's like a really creative puzzle. And it's hard, but I really like it, because when it comes out well, it just makes you like, oh, it was so good, kind of a thing, That's how I felt, when I made the pastor video, or even the affiliate group trailer. Like, that music edit was like really fun. Like, I did a few things I knew I wanted to make happen, and then it's just a matter of how do I fill in the rest of the space. But yeah, I could let go of that if it meant helping ERI. There are other things that I could be doing that only I can be doing. Whereas a lot of people can learn how to video edit. It's just a matter of us having the funding to hire them so that we can do more things. So if you want to see ERI do more things and do them faster and put more things out, then there literally is only one thing we need for that, which is an increase in our funding. And so if you've been giving for a while and you haven't increased in a year or something like that, and you have the means to increase, we are doing really, really great things and could do more great things and faster and more efficiently if our team grew by 1 or 2 people. So consider that. I know I say something like that a lot in these update videos, but that's really what's going on. These videos are all about just kind of the peek behind the scenes of what's going on. That gives you a sense of what has been going on behind the scenes. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for supporting us. If you're one of our donors, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so proud of our team. I'm so proud of the things that we are putting out, the ways that we are helping pro-life people. Thank you for your support that's making all of that possible. That is all I have for now. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.